So anyways, Nick, the first game of tonight is
For Honor
205B, or yes, B, For Honor. So this game, I think it's important for us to say that it should look a lot better than we actually were able to play as, because we were using my laptop, which is usually good for like indie games. And
unfortunately, this is a AAA Ubisoft game, which means that our game got our asses kicked.
there are no servers.
No, there are servers. It's just that we got ourselves kicked out of it.
Yes, because it actually gave an error message like your frames per second is too low.
Yeah.
Your latency is too low, which is kind of ironic considering Ubisoft says that it's too low.
Yeah.
But
it's like
I didn't want to lift this with the intro because then it would be like splashing everywhere for Honor.
For Honor.
I was careful not to do that. So anyways, so every faction in this game is an honor-based faction.
And mostly based around dueling and stuff. We have the Vikings, we have the Knights, and then we have the Samurai.
Yes, and then I think they have more coming for Season 2. I think they showed some, but...
Yeah, more units or more factions, we don't know.
I think both.
Yeah, I would be excited.
Faction,
I would be excited to see pirates being in the game.
But they're not honorable.
Yeah, they are. At least among thieves, there's honor.
Anyways, so this game is interesting. There's so many characters on screen, and I can't say that it doesn't lag. But when you put down, what option was that? I don't remember what option, but we actually had it playable without any lag. Which
we had it being a Dominion mode, but it could be that I had it in the village.
No, you went into the graphical settings and lowered it to 0.
Yeah.
It wasn't relapse, but it's something else. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And then we had no lag whatsoever.
Yeah.
But once we had that option up, like the game looked decent.
The game plays like Dynasty Warriors, or because we played it together, Hyrule Warriors.
Exactly, but the characters are larger and just the moves are more over the top.
Yeah,
like
the characters,
I guess.
No, I would say the Warriors games would be more over the top fighting. This is more realistic. This is more like you're actually swinging your sword or
that's what I mean. Like when you swing, it's like you're swinging.
You're swinging an actual.
That's not over for a death kill.
That's That's kind of over the top, but it's not as over the top as like Link doing like his signature.
Yeah, well, I mean like
dance.
over the top for realism. Like it's like.
But it's a pretty good. This is a really good game, and it makes people actually ponder who would win in fights. There have been videos on the internet talking about who would actually win in a fight.
In this game, the factions, you mean?
Yeah, in the factions, like of the factions, who would actually win if they were actually to fight, like Deadliest Warriors.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that actually, but I thought this game was very fun, and I did read about it. Unfortunately, it's been a while since the game came out, and first it had issues. There were too many people playing. Then you read all the news about this game, like it was getting so hard to get currency in this game, so people left, and there's a lot of controversy about this game.
Well, yeah, it's an Ubisoft game. You can't have an Ubisoft game without controversy unless your name is Rayman.
Even Rayman, I was going to say, there's some depending on the game, but I don't know, I like it, but I'm kind of concerned about the long term, like how much fun there is to this game, because it seemed like there were a lot of options, like at least decently, like compared to if we're gonna go cover Drunk Fu Fighting, like that's an alpha, so it's unfair to compare the two.
Yeah, and it's a completely different game.
Yeah,
this is like
but they're both kind of like fighting games, kind of.
But this one is more like a kill everyone kind of fighting game, whereas that one is more of a. We'll get to. I
think it's more clan based, and then
we'll get to that game later. We'll get to that game later.
And stuff.
Multiplayer is a really interesting way to go about it because we saw that there's actually a faction mode where depending on how many wins you have, you can help your faction take over different places.
Exactly. So that's a good point. I was trying to lead into that too. I was about to. The factions stuff happens while you're gone, which is very unusual for to bring up fighting games again. But the last game, I don't know if many games really do this online. Maybe
I remember
Mortal Kombat 10 did have it and still does, and that's one of the main appeals of MK10. Your different clans, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it was in number 9. I could be wrong, but not a lot of fighting games seem to have that. I don't know if Street Fighter V does, so anyone feel free to correct me. But
the only other time I remember this ever happening was a massively multiplayer online not role-playing game, but a real-time strategy game, where you would be a part of a faction and you're taking over other places. So I've only seen this happen in like a few free-to-play games. So I love seeing this happen in an actual game like this.
Yeah.
It gives you it gives you an investment. It gives you
a greater investment than say like Street Fighter 2, the original, where it's like one-on-one.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's not the best example, but
yeah,
I mean, it's old
like,
school.
To compare games, like it's like comparing Dark Souls to Crash Bandicoot.
Well, I don't. Yeah. Well, yeah. I was trying to use something that was a bit more of like fighting game like.
Yeah.
To compare the two, because as we said, it's not done very often, but at least I can see it both ways. You know, it gives more value to every match because you're getting money.
Yeah. Every fight defines you.
Yes.
Basically.
So it's not like, individual rounds.
When you were actually jumping into a multiplayer game, I actually pointed out how there's a character on the other side of the team that has like level 54, and you were just stuck at
level 1.
Speaking of leveling, there's
a
weird coincidence where you actually scored a lot of kills despite this being like your first few times playing the game.
Now, again, the first few times playing the game, that's what I've read. Like, this game, it's a lot of fun at first when it's new, but I've heard it gets really repetitive. And I can sort of see that, even though the different maps. Well, I think it's one of those games that you can play in, like,
short bursts. Yeah, this is a short burst game.
And, you know, play with your friends maybe once a week. I don't see it as a game I would play, like, all the time.
Yeah, religiously.
Like Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah, and even then, that game would also...
I like that game, but again, it was another game that you had to grind when you got 4 times experience.
Yeah, and I feel like Battlefront and For Honor are more similar than to just say it's a fighting game, because those have the similar styles of like you play as classes of characters, you're fighting with an army of people, you fight specific people that are like heroes and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, it depends, except for the ship battles. I mean, then there's like three different ships, and then there's the A-Wing, which everyone chose because it was easily better than X-Wing. But that's another
story for another day.
Yeah, I think that's another tension in itself. I think with this game, the problem is, even though there's so many characters, I think it's, again, maybe go back to Battlefront briefly, you have to get the season pass, and a lot of companies are now doing that. Like, if you don't get the season pass, you're only getting some of the games, some of the characters, Yes, so I think that's the best comparison.
That just kills the value of the game, because you're already paying $60. You're gonna pay another $60. If we were gonna do this,
30 or 40, whatever.
If this was like back in the day where you got like an SNES game for like $40, but then you're told that
you only got half of Final Fantasy VI or something.
You only got half of Final Fantasy VI, and then you have to be given a season pass to be piecemeal to you.
The ending.
Yeah, it's
which is kind of funny that I mentioned Final Fantasy VI, because that is what they're going to do with FF7. At first they thought it was going to be like 3 parts. Now it sounds like they're trying to split it into like ridiculous like
7 parts.
Yeah, well,
that would be cool if it's split into 7 parts.
But by episodes. But I don't know if that's still going to happen, because they've been working on that game for a while, and I haven't heard anything about it. But I mean, just to bring it back to For Honor, I think that's the danger of them. Because last I heard, a lot of people were leaving For Honor because they made it too hard to get the currency, and people were just getting bored of it. They just jumped to a new game like Crash Bandicoot or whatever.
Yeah,
that's a good example.
And I know that I'm gonna say that the reason why free-to-play games have a really good systematic model, like League of Legends or Dota, is because they have. Okay, maybe not Dota, because Dota is like completely free-to-play. You don't even have to pay a cent.
Yeah.
For like all the characters, but like with League of Legends or Smite or Paladins, you have like you you can pay whatever you want to unlock the characters, or you can grind, and the grinding, while tough, is still reasonable. It's just if you want to get there quicker, and that says a lot for a lot of free-to-play games. It's basically just like if you want to get this game played quicker, just buy the game.
Yeah, but there's no option for For Honor. Like,
yeah, there's no option for
Honor. These extra DLCs that take away, levels that other people have decided to pay for.
Yeah, when you
order Battlefront's a better example than For Honor in this sense.
Yeah, I think
just
what
characters.
I think what the point what we're trying to make is, yeah.
Anyways, get your point.
My point is, like you've already paid like $60-80 for For Honor, so it doesn't make sense reasonably to give
more.
Yeah, like you've already paid what most other games. By that point, you'd rather buy about 2 to 3 indie games, and you'd get the same fun value as, or even you can even just pay $60 in a free-to-play game and get more value out of it than what you would get for For Honor. That's the sad part. A free-to-play game where you can actually pay $60 to get more value out of it is a better game than if you had to pay $60 for it.
I think I should say there that that's individual based, so I'm not sure if I necessarily agree with that point. I think, but in the case of For Honor, it's more that the game is very repetitive, so that's the problem. Like, you have to really grind to get the medals and stuff. So.
But if we're gonna have to judge this based off, it's just pure value alone. No season pass. No. Does it compare? Is it a fighting game? Is it a MOBA? No. We're just going to judge it on its own merits. I say pick this game up. It may frustrate you with getting it to work, but once you get it to work, it plays like a godsend.
I don't think it's worth the full price. I mean, I think maybe $30 or $40, I think is what the cost is now.
$30-40.
I think anything higher, it's not a game that I think you'll be playing. It's not like a Diablo 2 or whatever game that you want.
I will add though, if we go back to the season pass thing, $30 plus a $30 season pass, now we might be talking.
Yeah, depending on what's in the season pass, but I don't think it's...
Yeah.
It's not like an extra chunk of the game like Star Wars was, but then Star Wars was like...
It was made by EA.
Well, it's another like $70 or whatever, I think, for the pass.
And I think when we hear the word season pass, we kind of shudder and think of Battlefront.
Yeah, well, it was a few extra maps, and not everyone wanted to use those maps, so.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think this is getting really long-winded.
This is getting way too long-winded.
So, anyways.
But we've made our recommendation.
I like it.
I like it. Not so
I don't
much.
think it's worth the full price, and I think it's definitely a game that you'll play probably a lot initially, and then I see it like the other games will take over your gaming session. So.
Yeah, if you really want to play this game, I'd recommend picking it up on your console, because your console might be better equipped to play this better than your gaming PC.
All right, great guys.
Keep on gaming.
Keep on gaming. Bye.